Hello, this is Clay from thejapanshop.com. Today we're going to go through a famous line from One Pan Man, also known as One Punch Man. This character is so strong he can take down any bad guy with a single punch, hence his name. Now, in Japanese, he isn't One Punchy Man, but One Pan Man. This name is a play on the children's superhero series Anpanman. One of Anpanman's most famous lines or his skill is his Anpunch. This combined with the name Anpanman inspired Wanpanman. Now, every superhero has a cool sounding line. Today we'll look at Wanpanman's famous line.
趣味でヒーローをやっているものだ。
This means I am a person who does hero work as a hobby. Or a more natural or cool sounding English translation could be I'm just a guy who's a hero for fun. Before we break this line down, listen and repeat after Yumi a few times.
趣味でヒーローをやっているものだ。趣味でヒーローをやっているものだ。趣味でヒーローをやっているものだ。
Go through the vocabulary word by word. First word is shumi, which means hobby. And the second is a particle de, which indicates a means or a method. So the method is, or the means is the hobby. So as a hobby, he is a hero. Be careful with long vowels in Japanese. Be sure to pay attention to that. Hiro, not hiro, but hiro. Wo is the direct object marker. It sets hiro as the direct object of the verb yatteiru, which means to do. Now, this is the teiru form of yaru, which means is basically the continuous ing form, doing. It's what he's continuing to do. It shows a state that is continuing at this moment. Mono, which means person. Now, there's another kanji for mono that indicates a thing, but this one, which is the same kanji that's used with ninja, is indicates a human being, a person. And then da means am. It is the copula that ties it all together. So a very literal translation would be hobby as hero direct object marker, doing person am. Or a little bit better, I am a person who does hero work as a hobby. Now we say hero work here because hiro is set as the direct object of yatteru. It shows what he's doing. So we don't say he was doing hero. He was doing heroic actions or something like that. But a more natural translation might be, I'm just a guy who's a hero for fun. And on the web page, you can see the vocabulary, and if you mouse over, you'll see the furigana. Try your best to look at the kanji, and that's kind of tough love, but it's a good way to remember kanji. And to understand this, this phrase a little bit better, we separate it into two sections. And I'll start with the second section, which is simply monoda, which means am a person. And in English, we would probably say who, because all of this section A here modifies or describes what happens here in section 2. So I, and notice that I isn't actually in this sentence, but it's implied, it's understood. I am a person who, blah, 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 as a hobby does hero work. So, and then section 1 starts off with as a hobby, 趣味でヒーローをやっている. I want to make two quick comments about the social implications of this phrase. First off, mono da is often used for humility to show that you are not being boastful. It's used actually with humble language often. But the da indicates you're on equal level with the person you're speaking, or even you're looking down on the person instead of, if you were to be totally respectful, you would say mono des instead of da. So it's tension between social levels or politeness, humility versus plain casualness. And we also see it here with yatteru. The word here, yaru, has a very informal sense. Now they could have said suru here. Suru could have been used here, and that would have been more polite or normal, but he chose to use yaru. So we're not quite sure if he's trying to be humble, polite, rude, or just he doesn't know anything. You don't really get this in translation, this kind of understanding uh, or the feel behind the words. Now on the web page, we have many examples showing how to use like the de, which shows a means or a method. We have several extra example sentences, all with sound files
アルバイトでウェイターをしている。
and complete vocabulary. So check that out for a more understanding, to understand these grammatical forms better. Here's the continuous te iru form. And then the section 2 about mono da, with more examples showing the noun that is modified by a clause that comes before it. And so we wrap things up with as a hobby, shumide, hero, object marker, hiro, yatteiru, am doing, mono da. I will leave a link to the lesson page in the description below. Please take a look. There are lots of sound files and further examples for the various grammar points here. And if you are a Makoto Plus member, we have an extra bonus content here that you can download that includes a printable PDF as well as all the sound files. So until next time.
チャンネル登録してね。